Welcome to the channel. Now I'm busy beavering away up in my summer house and I'm doing a lot of work with hardwoods and it involves lots and lots of mitres. So I've got the Festool Kapex KS120EB here, and it's not mine. I borrowed it off one of my really good mates. I've got plenty of chop saws, but this is my go-to saw for doing something as accurate as this. So I have used this one in the past and it's been absolutely fantastic. We did a lot of second fix with it, so MDF, skirting and architrave, and the miters were bang on. But I've discovered that since it's been off on site and come back to me, it's not true. So the miters, if you look at these 4 bits here, which are all been cut exactly the same, okay, yes, they look fantastic. But when you put a pair of these against a straight edge and you clamp them, they're rocking. Okay, so they're doing this and this, and when you try to put 4 together, obviously 3 will close, 3 will look good, because it's not until you get the last one in. Let me just sort of mock that up. It's not until you get the last one. This is tricky to show you, but when you get the last one in, it's just out a little bit. And what I need to do is reset this. Now, if you've not tried this before, it's fairly straightforward, but all we're looking at doing is this section here, if you like, the fence which you push everything against, is not true to the actual body of the saw. Now the body of the saw, when you move it around, obviously there's set lock-ins here, and what you don't necessarily want to do is try to adjust this, because if you pull that round that way, it's actually going to pull this round as well. So what we need to do is carefully loosen off the 4 hex nuts there, and then that will free this up. But prior to doing that, I got my roofing square against the fence and I just looked how it lined up with elements of the saw. So anything that's engineered like this, which is nice and true and parallel, to give me an idea of which way I need to go. So the first thing I'm going to do is mark a pencil line where it is currently, and that is going to enable me, that was my start, this is my start point if you like, nice sharp pencil, that's my start point. The second thing I'm doing is looking at this and saying, okay, which way does it look like it wants to go on the square, and I can see that it wants to go like this slightly, so that end that way and this end this way, and I'm talking a tiny little bit. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to loosen them all off, leave that one tight at the end there. So let me loosen these off slightly. You might find that they work loose. I mean, that's not particularly tight, and you're wondering why would it move out? Well, it will. I mean, it's going to have people push stuff against. If you've got long lengths and you're trying to make sure it's flat against there, you're putting a lot of pressure against this fence. It's cast in one piece of aluminium. It's quite strong. I've checked it for straight and it's absolutely perfect. It's really nice and true. So it's not bent, it's not deflected. So what we need to do, as I say, is just, we've left the last one. I've just eased these off. Just ease them off a tiny bit. That's all we need. That one as well. And that's just released it now. There's a bit of airspace between there and there. And what I'm going to do first is just literally pull it around a tiny bit. There's not a lot of movement in it at all. It's engineered, obviously. And now I'm going to unloosen the last one here, just to give me that little bit it needs. So what I'm going to do is pull it onto just over my line there, and I'm going to keep it just on there. We'll tighten the end to only for now, because we're going to do a couple of test cuts. And what we're looking for is an exactly square cut in both directions. That means that when I put it round to the preset 45-degree marks, it's going to be a perfect mitre. Okay, so as I say, I've just tightened those end ones for now, just enough. And then we'll cut some stock. Just put this dust extraction around the back where it should be. And we're going to cut ourselves a piece of timber. Move this out of the way. Let's get a nice piece of timber. green painted, factory produced MDF here. So I'm going to put a nice square cut on that, and we're going to just check that. We're going to cut it. We're going to cut that off and see how that looks. Let's have some power. Always turn the power off when you're meddling with power tools. Start with a square in. Now what we want to do is literally push it along, cut there, spin this round and have a look at it. So what I'm going to do now is offer this back in here and push it together, and that is absolutely spot on. That's the first test I'm going to do, because obviously if you're turning and rotating and you're getting an absolutely crisp cut there in every direction, both pieces absolutely spot on. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I will give that a tighten in that position, and then we'll check the mitre. Give that a little tighten up. Don't overdo it, but give it a little bit. You want it to hold. That's it. Right, now we're going to bring it around to the 45. This is the mark, which is the designated notch. Just let it come into there. There's not a lot of play in this, so it's pretty good. And again, we're just going to pop a mitre on here, on this one. And what we'll do is we'll go around to the other side. Nice and located, and we'll pop a mitre on that one as well. I haven't got my clamps on there, so I was reaching over a little bit moody, I know, but done this before. Okay, so now I'm going to check this mitre for true. Several ways of doing this. Obviously, you know, looking at it here, but it's key now that it fits in my roofing square absolutely perfectly. And if it does, job's a good one. I reckon it's still about 1/4 of a degree out, so I'm going to fine tune that and get that spot on, because I've got something like 48 times 4, 160, 184 mitres to do. So got to get on with it. Thanks for joining me.